I have struggled with the concept of self-worth for so long now, it's not even funny. But recently, I had the biggest breakthrough. I know I come off as like this confident, self-assured person with standards and things like that, and that's all true. And that was my question too, right? Like, how is it that I can be all these things, but then not possess self-worth? Like, it never made any sense to me. But recently, I was hanging out with my friend, and then I realized that the reason I can be this way, like who I am now, the reason behind that is because I have strong values. And those values are dictated by Islam. And because Islam is steady, I'm steady as a person. So I realized that worth is separate from values. I have values. I operate from those values. That's why I can make decisions. That's why I can say no to things. That's why I can conduct myself in a way that is confident, because I'm very confident in the religion that I follow. But the worth piece comes into places like, for example, you want to negotiate for a higher salary. That has nothing to do with values or religion, right? That's more like your own worth. So I'm the kind of person that has never fought that salary conversation. I've never negotiated. I don't even know how to. If you don't know your worth, then someone will tell you your worth and you'll be okay to accept it at face value. And that has happened to me multiple times. So I made that realization around lunchtime, the worth versus values, okay? Then in the evening time, I just pulled out my journal because I wanted to write down this breakthrough that I just had. And I was just feeling grateful that Allah even like opened up my eyes to like this little piece of wisdom that can help me solve the puzzle that is self-worth. And so I started writing, and I kind of just fell into shadow work, which is just asking why, until you come to the answer. And I came to the answer. So as I was writing, questions that came up were like, is having self-worth just having audacity? Is worth the absence of feeling unworthy? Who decides worth? Is worth simply feeling enough? And as I was writing, I eventually came to the conclusion that if it's not people that are deciding my worth, and if it's not me deciding my own worth, then it must be God that's deciding my worth. So he must dictate my worth. Now, how do I know what Allah thinks of me? Is it truly that simple as the opinion that I hold of him is what he thinks of me? And because I hold a good opinion of God, does that make me automatically worthy? And how does that translate over into my like real life scenarios? For example, if I want to negotiate a higher pay for this one opportunity that I have, how do I go about doing that with the understanding that my worth is dictated by my thoughts of Allah? And then something clicked in my brain. If I ask for that higher salary, I'm not asking the person sitting in front of me for that salary. At the end of the day, when I make that statement, it is to God that I'm making that statement. That person cannot hinder the wealth that is to come my way. That is truly in God's hands. So let's say they rejected giving me that salary amount. That is not a reflection of my worth. That is just a reflection of the risk that was not promised to me by God. And so now he's redirecting me in a different direction to a different place where I could potentially get it. So all we have to do in our life is just ask for the things that we want and trust that whatever is meant for us will come to us. We want this, we're asking for it. If you're not the vessel that's going to grant it